Hey guys, welcome back to A&J Education YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to tell you exactly what you need to do to set yourself up for success as you're transitioning from school to university. So if you're going to university soon, keep watching. All right, so it's my pleasure to welcome Ollie back into the studio. How are you doing, Ollie?
Very well, thank you.
So, Ollie, you've been to school, you've been to uni, which is, I guess, makes you an expert into transition from school to university. But you did really well at school. You did really well academically at university, at Cambridge, where you came one of the top in your year at history. Clearly you're doing a couple of things right. So, what do you do as a student who's just finishing school and going to university?
To be honest, frankly, you don't need to do a huge amount. I mean, it also depends as well if you're doing a gap year and if you've actually applied. So if you're kind of on top of things and you've applied before, then it's kind of brilliant. You kind of get a summer. You don't need to worry about much. If for whatever reason maybe your grades weren't as good, or you decided to reapply, or you decided to wait, then part of that's going to be you're going to have to focus on applying before you can even transition. But yeah, I just say first of all, take a break in a way, because you don't get long summer holidays forever. It's quite nice to kind of come in rested and then hit the ground running. And then just sort of, if you can broadly keep up, not necessarily keep up with what you've studied, but just try and read a bit more widely. You might be sent a reading list from your university or college. I don't think you really need to do loads of it, but maybe just having a flick through, and that would probably be helpful.
Cool. Sounds good. And in terms of the transition, to university, so how did you find that transition? Because I'm assuming, if you were going to Cambridge, you were kind of the top dog in your school, doing quite well, and then you get into an environment where maybe there is quite a few people who are much smarter than you.
Yeah. Clearly, I was the king of school, obviously, and then no, I think that can be a really difficult adjustment. It should be approached as a good thing, really. I imagine most people as well, they're at school, you'll be with people who are also much clever than you are, and hopefully in an environment where it doesn't mean very much that. But yeah, I think imposter syndrome is something that people definitely will feel or might feel. You think, did I really have got in? I feel like everyone's a lot better. Probably the answer to that is most people are feeling that.
Yeah,
I think it was Einstein felt that as well, and he's a pretty clever bloke. So yeah, I'd see it as a kind of opportunity to talk with people who are interested in the same kind of things as you are, rather than it's not a competition being at university. So yeah,
cool, sounds good. And how much prep before the course? Because I remember when I got my offer from Oxford, they sent the reading list, and read all these books, do this, and if I'm honest, I did nothing.
I really don't think you need to do a huge amount. I hope no one else sees that. I'd say, if anything, just getting into a mindset would be better. So I can only talk about history, but for example, at A level or IB, kind of questions tend to be quite specific. They're quite kind of like detailed. It'd be like, why did X sort of cause? I keep using the French Revolution. Cause the French Revolution. At university, you might find it's more kind of, was the French Revolution a revolution at all, and what it was. But like something, it's kind of looking a bit more thematic and a bit more about kind of the concepts behind history. So maybe reading E.H. Carr or someone like that could be quite helpful. But I wouldn't feel like you need to actually read the whole of the reading list. Because if you're just reading it for the sake of it, you won't have also taken anything from it. You need to read it quite analytically and quite kind of precisely for it to be of a huge amount of value. And that in itself is quite an undertaking, which I probably wouldn't bother with. But yeah.
No, it makes sense. And did you find that time management, your time management had to change or kind of step up as you went to university?
Yeah, it's definitely, again, it will depend. You were more kind of engineering-y sort of, where if someone's set out, you have to be in labs every day, even potentially on Saturdays as well. I think if you're depending where you are, probably don't need to adjust a huge amount. For me, it's quite a big adjustment because I had one supervision a week. It's basically an hour I had to be there. Everything else was frankly optional. You didn't really need to go if you didn't want to. So that can be quite tricky. You need to be you don't need to get it all right. You don't need to be that disciplined, but you need to probably have a little bit of a kind of way to plan your time out and try not to leave everything to the last minute, but you probably will anyway. So.
And also, just from me, I think it's important to remember that you're not at university just to study.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to meet people, you want to try different things, and maybe that's sport, or maybe you're thinking of, like you becoming a lawyer, maybe going to some law society events, and You're
not going to get it all right, probably ever in this. So like, you don't need to. Yeah, you're going to adapt when you get there. Just in a way, being aware of that is probably quite a good thing. That things probably won't go exactly to the plan or the idea you have, and being flexible.
No, exactly. Cool. Well, guys, just a reminder from me that you're going to feel at whatever university you are that there is always another event or something else that you should be doing at any given moment. That's normal. But just kind of stick with the plan, give everything a go, take it easy, don't overstress. No one gets it right, and you'll be fine. But for now, please join me in thanking Ollie. Ollie, thanks so much for this. And guys, please do, if you enjoyed this and this was helpful, please subscribe and like this video. Really helps all of us, and we, here, Ollie and I and the team behind the scenes really appreciate it. We put a lot of love and energy into this YouTube channel. And also do check out my newsletter that I send out every 3 weeks. The link is in the description below. It's packed with really useful info on university admissions and CV building. But for now, all the best in your journey. Take care, and see you soon.